Hello, am I audible? Okay, students, this is important topic to discuss here because you are the new younger generation and you are the future of the India, right? There are certain important things. There will be no exams for this. There will be no MCQs, no answers. So you have to understand and implement because 9th and 10th standards are really a important phase of your life. Okay, please concentrate. Any doubts after the program will clear. Is that okay? Okay, you just need to maintain silence. Okay. Any doubts? You can note it down on paper. After the session wise, we can ask doubts. Basically, the program is to sensitize you for the certain important social issues so that once things are in your mind, you will avoid mistakes. Okay? So please remember there is no exam, so relax. Please understand what we are trying to say. Done? Yes? I'm here. I'm here. Very good. Over to you. Dr. Bharathan, over to you.
Can I play the video, ma'am?
Rashmi, are we audible?
Yes, ma'am. Audible, ma'am.
Namaste. Are we audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Audible.
Shall we start? Rashmi, are you there?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Can you hear us?
Start, ma'am.
Okay, a very good afternoon. I think Shriman, you should ask Rashmi also to join the meeting. She's not there?
No, madam. Shishma madam only there.
Because if she's in the meeting, she can hear us. I think the audio is not very clear from their side.
I'll call and check, madam.
Yeah.
Yes, madam.
I think you can start the introduction video, no?
Okay, I'll play the video then.
Yeah, play the video first.
Dear friends, Foxians, and the women of my country, I am Dr. Shanta Kumari, President of the Federation of Obstetrics and Gynecological Societies of India. As a doctor and a woman myself, I have observed very closely how prevalent violence against women is across the strata of our society and the enormous impact it has on the health of our women. My theme for the year as the President Foxy is Foxy for all always and Dheera, stop violence against women.
Dr. Shanta Kumari, who has relentlessly campaigned for the issues of girl child. I was happy to be the ambassador of Foxy Figure Ox in 2013, and I hope that me being an ambassador has motivated a lot of girls and many families.
Violence against women is a serious human rights violation, leading to injury and sometimes even death. Unfortunately, 1 in 3 women experience some sort of physical and sexual violence during their lifetime. Violence in pregnancy is also widely prevalent, leading to unwanted pregnancies, unsafe abortions, neglected pregnancies with no antenatal care, all these contributing to maternal morbidity and near miss. As obstetricians and gynecologists, we have a great opportunity to assess and support women who experience violence because of the unique opportunity where we get to see them during the pregnancy, during the family planning visits, during their annual checkups, and multiple other times when they come to us. I strongly believe that by eliminating the violence against women, we are not only reaching the SDG goals, but also creates a just and equal society for our women. Until we make men and boys active partners, we can never end the violence against women. In an endeavor to sensitize our own fraternity, my initiative of Dheera was started to eliminate violence against women.
I completely support her vision and mission as President Foxy, and also especially support her campaign, Dheera, Stop Violence Against Women.
It was in 2016 at the launch of Dheera. We brought together the police, the obstetrician gynecologists, the National Commission for Women, the women and men on one single platform to wear orange and say no to violence against women. We organized the public forum and cyclothon to launch Dheera. In 2017 at the Foxy Figo Congress, we partnered with men and organized the bikeathon and the flash mob. The high point of Dheera was at the International Figo Congress at Rio, Brazil in 2018. The declaration on no to violence against women was signed with Figo and WHO. It was here global societies pledged their support to end this violence against women. The Dheera campaign and march at the World Congress of Figo in Rio in 2018 got wide international publicity. No change is possible unless the young minds adopt it and make it a part of their life. Young minds are open and creative. They accept change. Foxy has always worked with adolescents for their health and well-being. Dheera this year adds a new page. I'm happy to share with you all that we are launching the Dheera online school certification course across the length and breadth of our country in all the schools. Foxy for all always. Dheera, stop violence against women.
A very good afternoon. I hope all of you have just come to know what exactly this Dheera program is. So today, on the Children's Day, I wish you all children a happy Children's Day. May you enjoy your childhood and be free from the fear of violence against women, against the girls, and of course violence against the boys also to some extent does happen in our society. So may you all be having a happy childhood with no violence and be brave enough to open up and speak out to your teachers or your parents or to any NGO like us or doctors about the problems you face either within school, outside school, within home or outside home. So now let us come to the point. We are here today to give you Dheera. Dheera means courage. Courage to say no to violence against women. So let us now find out what is this violence against women. So I will start my PowerPoint. Hope I am audible and visible to all of you. Are we audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. I will be sharing my screen now.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Slideshow. So now let us talk about what is this violence against women that all of us are trying to prevent and how does Dheera play into it. As we just came across, Dheera is an initiative by our president of Foxy, Dr. Shanta Kumari, and a very much needed program among all our young generation. So now we will be talking to you about what is Dheera, what is violence against women, and what are the types of violence against women, how do we manage this violence against women, and what is the peer pressure. I request all the children, if you have any doubts, kindly write it down on a piece of paper, and at the end of the session, we will take your questions and answer them. We have the local interactive coordinator, Dr. Rashmi from Raichur, who will be sitting with you in the auditorium. And you can put up your hands and she will clear your doubts, or she will put the question across to us so that we can answer your questions and make you understand what is Dheera and how to say no to violence against women. All of you will have a pre-test and a post-test feedback, and you will be awarded a participant certificate at the end of the completion of this course from the Foxy Dheera branch. So what is Dheera? As I told you, Dheera means courageous. So we need to be courageous. We need to be together to fight against violence against women. Many boys are here. We want the boys also to say no to violence against women. Not all men practice violence against women, but all women live with the threat of male violence every single day all over the earth, said Fuad Al-Kabarao. And this is very much all over the country, all over the world. So, this violence against women is a human global rights violation. It can cause short term and long term physical, economic, and psychological consequences. It prevents their full and equal participation in society because of the fear that somebody may abuse them, somebody may kick them, or somebody may beat them up or throw acid on their faces. So they are not able to participate, though they want to go and do some programs in the evening times, they are prevented from. And the magnitude of its impact on the society is immeasurable. It causes not only social problems, it also causes mental and physical problems. So conditions created by the pandemic like lockdowns, isolation, stress and economic uncertainty have increased the incidence of domestic violence. So as children, have you seen any sort of violence against women in your house or in your school or on the roadside? Have any of you seen it? Raise your hands. If you raise your hands that you have seen any sort of violence around you, do you think this is right? And what is such behavior called? This behavior is called violence against women. When a husband threatens or beats a wife or talks very rudely to the wife, when a boy talks rudely to a girl, or somebody on the street, just because the lady is a vegetable vendor who is a lady, talks very badly to her or says, I will beat you up. All such things are violence against women. It is not just sexual violence like sexual assault, sexual harassment, or eve teasing. It is also any sort of behavior by rudely talking to them, beating them up, or locking them up inside the house, not going out. All this is called violence against women. So as I told you, it is a most shameful human rights. It is widespread. It knows no boundaries of geography, culture, or wealth. And if it continues, there is no real progress towards equality, development, and peace. So what exactly is this violence against women? As I already told you, violence against women can be forcing a woman to live in fear. She is mentally under fear that her husband or her father or her employer will always be trying to beat her or scold her. And sexually, there is a fear that she may be raped or sexually assaulted. Physically, she may be beaten up, and mentally, she may be hurt by very strong words saying, you are a woman, why are you behaving like this? So these are the things that happen. So why is there this violence against women in our country? It is because boys are born in a toxic masculine situation where they are told that it is okay because you're a boy, you can behave like that, you can be rude, you can hit somebody. The toxic masculinity with deep roots in our society, a gender bias which says boys are always superior to girls, and sexism saying that girls are the weaker sex, a patriarchal society which says that wealth should always go to the man in the family. The man in the family is always looking after the finances. The property will go to him, and women do not have rights. And the gender stereotyping that girls should be soft, they should not talk loudly, they should not go out in the night, they should not go alone. These are the gender bias. So in the gender bias, you see that most of our community people, they want to have a male child. They think that the male child is the one who will look after them when they are old. The property will go to the male child, and their family name will be brought up by the male child, which is not true. Girls are considered as burden that they will get married. We have to give dowry. she will get married and her money will go to the husband's house. These are some of the wrong things which are happening in our society. And due to that, we are seeing that female children are being killed when they are in the uterus, knowing that it is a female baby, or after the baby is born, there are parents who kill these female children. And when the female child has a health issue, or when it is coming to giving her good nutrition, it is always the boy who is able to eat more and more healthy food than the girl. What is patriarchy? It is a system of society of government in which men hold the power and women are largely excluded from it. Decision making always rests with a male in the family. You must have seen this in all your families, which is not right. Women and men are part of a family. They need to have equal rights in decision making. Then what is gender stereotyping? They always say girls should be faithful, girls should be emotional, you should be very tolerant. You are a girl, you should not talk like that. You are a girl, you should be very soft. You are a girl, you will always depend on your father, brother, husband, or son. That's what they try to tell you. And boys are depicted as to be very competitive and will rise in society, who are very logical and think properly. They're very strategic in their aims to do something, and they're very aggressive, so they lose their temper, and it's okay for a boy to beat somebody, and boys are always independent. This is how there is a gender stereotyping in our society which has to be eliminated. Sexism. And what is sexism? There is always things that girls are depicted as objects of sex. There is a prejudice saying girl is a sexual object, and discrimination is based against a woman just because she is a female. So what are the examples of sexism? That is like in sexism, they put advertisements of women who are very scarcely dressed just to depict that, oh, you to be beautiful, you should be a sexual, you should dress like this so that the men get attracted to you. These are such examples we see of women depicted as sexual objects. In movies, they depict girls dancing, trying to attract the men, and singing and talking words which are there to attract. So this also depicts female sexism. Then the masculine toxicity. Of masculine saying, I am a man, I am strong, I don't cry, I am the boss, I can look after everybody. It is not right. Men can also have mental issues. Men can be weak, and men need to reach out for help also. It is okay for a boy to cry. It is okay for a boy to ask for help. It is okay for a boy to say, I am weak, I need somebody to help. So why doctors for women want to talk? Why are we sitting here and talking to you? Why? Because as gynecologists, we can recognize changes in lifestyle. You are the point of contact. We are the point of contact for you. And most of the health problems of women are rooted in violence. They come to us because they've not had children, their mother-in-law or their father-in-law or their husband is ill-treating them, abusing them, or threatening to divorce them because they don't have children. They come to us and they develop serious health problems in pregnancy because they are had one girl child and now the husband is abusing, say, I need another male child. He abuses. And these women come to us. So that is why to reduce all this, we need Dheera. Why Dheera? So why Dheera? As I told you, Dheera is to stop violence against women. The campaign was founded by our president, Dr. Shantakumari. And now we have an all-India campaign of 36,000 obstetricians and gynecologists aiming to cover all boys and girls from 9th to 12th grade and to cover around 50,000 plus teachers. We want to teach our sons to respect women. We need to teach the whole society to say no to violence against women. We have this page on Twitter. We have it on Facebook. You can all put up your voice here, add your courageous voice to this conversation. Okay, so this brings us to the end of the description of what is Dheera. Now I will take you to the next point of contact is how are we going to prevent Dheera and what are the types of violence against women. Okay, so if you have any doubts at this time, I request Rashmi over there to kindly take up the questions if they want to say something. Otherwise, I will open the next file. Are there any questions? Any doubts? I am not getting any feedback from the other side. Shriman, if you have it, my PPT is taking a little time to open.
Just a minute, I'm calling Shishma madam.
Yeah, this.
Now you can proceed with the second session.
Shall we share the screen, ma'am?
You are sharing the screen? Now let me do it. Makes it easy for me to move the slides.
Okay, ma'am.
Otherwise, every time I have to move. This is the one, right? It's open. Yeah, it's open. Is it visible?
No, madam.
Not visible. Just give me a minute. Yeah. Is it visible now?
Gone, madam.
Oh, where are we? Just a minute. Is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Make it full screen.
So it's visible now, right? I have to make it slide
Yes,
show.
ma'am.
Yeah, let me make it. Hey. Slideshow. Yeah, it's fully visible now, right? Okay. So now, children, we will be talking about what are the types of violence against women we come across. So violence can be physical violence, psychological violence, or a combination of both. So what are the types of physical violence? The acid attacks you would have read in newspapers where there is a boy who likes a girl and the girl does not say yes to him or does not talk to him. So they come in a gang and throw acid on that girl. Or in a village, there is one girl in a different community marrying and falling in love with a boy in another community. They kill those children because they have had an intercaste affair. Or when you know there is a female child, they try to take it to the doctors or to quacks or untrained people and try to get an abortion done. And sexual violence when boys try to touch a girl without her consent, try to rape her. These are types of physical violence. Or even when a husband beats a lady at home because she has not cooked the food on time, or he is not at home, he beats her, or he wants money from her, so he beats her and takes money from her. This is also called physical violence. A son can come and beat the mother, asking her for money, and this could be examples of physical violence. What is psychological violence is that is threatening her, the girl, to give the money that she is earning, or emotionally abusing her, saying, you're a girl, what can you do? You are not earning sufficiently. Or in school, you people can bully a girl because she is not fair or she's dark. You say she's dark and you tease her, or she's a little overweight, you bully her, or she does not have some things that you people don't have. So you keep bullying them and saying, oh, she is very poor. She doesn't have this. She doesn't have that. This is called bullying. And then if you like a girl and though the girl does not like you, you people follow her, or you stand in the bus stand, or some boys in the bus stand whistling at the girls, winking at the girls, trying to follow them. All this is called psychological violence, which causes a lot of psychological pressure on these girls. Okay. And then you can have a combination where there is violence at home, like the father is beating the child, because she's a girl child, she comes a little late to school, or she goes with her friends and she has not told her mother, so the father or the brother beats her. These are some of the feedback types of violence that we would see. Now, as I already told you, the certificates will be given to you later on. So, physical violence, I told you, is throwing acid. This young lady here is a survivor of acid attack, and she has risen up, and a movie was made on her called Chapak, if you all remember, just to highlight that violence against women is not okay. And even when this photo of Miss Lakshmi Agarwal, it tells us that though she had a solid acid attack, she fought, she went to court, and she has taken up this as a movement to prevent violence against women. In Lucknow, they have a canteen which is called She Hero, SHEHERO, which is run by all these girls who have had acid attacks. I have been to that place. It is very, very sad on one side and happy on one side that these girls have stood up and they have started their own business. So acid throwing is a type of physical violence. So what can you do if somebody threatens you that or attempt to throw or hurt you or beat you, or they will say, I will throw acid on your face? What should you do? So if an attack is threatened or attempted, please report to the trusted adult who could be your teacher, your parent, your doctor, or your brother or your father or anybody, or the police. Okay, go with your parents to the police. Make sure to stay away from that person. If that person is threatening you, try to stay away, and never go alone to any place. If that person is following you, try to call your friends, try to inform some elders around the place and tell them somebody is following me, threatening me, and go along with them. If there somebody has threatened you, they can be punished under section 326B IPC for not less than 5 years and may extend up to 7 years. So you should not be scared. You should report. But if you are attacked, immediately, please report to the doctor, because we need to give you treatment as soon as possible. Once you have taken treatment, the attack will be reported to the police, either by the parents, the teachers, police, or even the doctor. We will report it to the police, and action will be taken against the criminal. Okay, and always make sure you stay away from this person who is threatening to attack you, and always report attacks to the authorities. You cannot go to the police station. You have the national helpline 112-1098. You can just make a telephone call and report to them that you have been attacked by this particular individual. If you know the identity, they will be incriminated in an FIR, and action will be taken for an imprisonment of not less than 10 years, which may extend even to imprisonment for life. And the fine charged, the medical expenses will be met by the victim. I told you about honor killing, murder of an individual, either an outsider or a member of the family. It is used to protect the reputation of the family. So when some girl falls in love with a boy, or a boy tries to marry somebody else out of his caste, the elders in the family may create some trouble and try to even murder that individual. What is femicide? I told you, because they want male children, when they come to know that it is a female child, they try to kill the baby by getting an abortion done. That is called female feticide. And if the baby is born and they know it is a female child, they sometimes kill the child also. That is called femicide. And sexual assault, what did I tell you? It is an act which a man sexually touches a woman or compels her to get naked forcefully and without any consent. This is punishable under section 354 IPC with 1 to 5 years fine. And if it is an assault against a child which is less than 18 years, boy or a girl, it could even lead to death penalty under the POCSO Act. This sexual assaults cause long-term mental trauma to the victim. We have seen many girls being assaulted sexually by people whom they know, their uncles, parents, their own brothers, cousins. So we have to be very, very careful. If you see sexual assault taking place, please stop it or call for help. Okay? Even if your own friend or your own relative is the abuser, please stand up against this violence. That is why we are here today. The Nirbhaya Act has come in on 2013 and the Section 377 to protect women against any type of rape. 354 IPC will protect against sexual harassment and unwanted physical contact. The POXO Act protects minors like you people who are less than 18, boys and girls from sexual abuse. So all these legal things are there. You need to be aware of. You need to have the helplines. You need to help people who are having undergoing violence, or if it is yourself, please ask for help. If you are a survivor, that is some sort of a sexual assault or some sort of a physical assault has taken place, do not be guilty. Do not shame yourself. It was not your fault. It was not your fault that you were raped, or it was not your fault that you were sexually assaulted. So do not feel ashamed. If you have been sexually assaulted, do not take a bath or wash yourself, because we need evidence. You need to go to the hospital where we will take some swabs from your skin and from your private parts to send it for analysis, which will help us get you justice. Don't change your clothes. Write down whatever happened. Inform the police. Report immediately in a timely manner what all happened, who followed you, where they came, what they did, all that. Don't be scared and don't be afraid to speak up, as you are never at fault and an abuser is bound to repeat actions. So if you do not complain today, they are going to do that to somebody else tomorrow. So now we come to psychological violence. What is psychological violence? This is when, for example, Raj monitors his wife Ananya's bank account and doesn't let her buy what she wants. They are married couple, okay? Raj's parents don't let Ananya go to work. So what can Ananya do? She is being emotionally and psychologically hurt. There's violence against her. So there is financial manipulation because she cannot go to work. She does not have money. So this involves making or attempting to make a person financially dependent by maintaining total control over resources without withholding access to money and forbidding attendance at school or work. So in such cases, Ananya can go to the police, she can go to her doctor with somebody and tell them that my husband is psychologically hurting me. I want to go to work. I need to keep the money I am earning. So if you come across somebody like this, you can definitely help them. So there is emotional abuse. What is this emotional abuse? It is undermining a person's sense, saying you are useless, you are not getting good marks, you can't work, you can't do this, you are drawing only so little salary, and then calling them names saying you're useless, and damaging a partner's relationship with the children. For example, the husband will tell the child, your mother is useless, she has studied only 10th standard, she has to depend on me. So such things, or saying you should not go and see your family, you have to go only with me, you can't drive a car. So these are some sort of violence we are seeing. For example, Shreya is married to Ashok, whose colleagues mock him for earning less. Feeling hurt over his pride, Ashok takes over his frustration by drinking, frequent rage behavior and tantrums by breaking things, yelling and blackmailing Shreya of divorcing her. This constant fault finding of Ashok causes Shreya to have a mental health problem. So what can Shreya do in such cases? One is Shreya should talk to this Ashok's family and to him, take him to a psychiatrist for help and try to break this habit of him drinking and yelling at things. And she can also go to work. She can also earn and contribute to the family's economic stability. So these are the things: feeling jealous of somebody, blaming somebody else, because I married you, I'm not happy, because I don't have a proper job, because of you, this is happening to me. These are all causes of emotional abuse. Then what is bullying? I told you, continuous harassment, either verbal or physical. Can it be in the form of cyberbullying or ragging? For example, they will say, you're not good looking, your hair is like this, you've got pimples on your face, or you're fat, you don't have proper clothes, you don't have money. So these are all examples of bullying, which is also violence against women. Okay. Then cyberbullying is when all of you go onto the social media like Facebook, or you're on social like Twitter or WhatsApp. So they will write messages to you to harass you or shame you, saying, today you came to school, your dress was not nice, or you're looking so bad, you're so fat, you don't know how to talk, you can't sing. These are some things which they can put on the Facebook or WhatsApp, which will make you sad, which will make you psychologically depressed. So this type of bullying also is not to be followed. So it can include text messages or sending embarrassing images of yourself, sharing them or creating fake accounts, stealing online identities, sharing sexually explicit messages like a kissing scene or a sexual intercourse scene on your WhatsApp messages. All this is called cyberbullying, and you must know that females are 2 times more likely to be victims of cyberbullying. That is why we want children like you to be very, very careful when you make friends on the social media to unknown people. Please do not make friends on Facebook. Don't send requests to people you don't know. And if somebody is talking to you which you don't like, they are bullying you or they are putting up sexual messages and you're not comfortable, please block such people so that they cannot bully you over the social media. So what can you do if you're being cyberbullied? Check the platform's anti-bullying policy. Get in contact with the customer service representative if confused. Okay. Then blocking and reporting. Block that account and you can report to that platform like WhatsApp or even to the police. You can report. Make sure to collect screenshots before you report because we need evidence. You can also file a criminal complaint to the cyber investigation cell or the local police or the women-oriented she teams like Foxy, or you can even come to our Twitter page of Dheera, or you can also go to your school and talk to your teachers saying that I am being cyberbullied. Okay, you people have to do this. Then stalking. When an individual follows a woman and repeatedly tries to contact her without consent, it can occur digitally, like standing near the bus stand and calling her, clapping hands, whistling. So this is also a crime under 354D IPC, and the culprit can have 1 to 3 years of fine if you file a case. Okay, so be careful when somebody is following you. Try to report it to the concerned authorities. What is voyeurism? Voyeurism is watching and taking pictures of women without consent, without the knowledge of the women. For example, your neighbor can be using a camera and trying to take your pictures without your consent, which is called voyeurism. That can also have a criminal, it's a criminal offense with an imprisonment of 1 to 3 years on first conviction. And if they repeatedly be doing it, they will be having life imprisonment for more than 3 to 7 years. Then eve teasing, you all are familiar with. There are obscene actions like unwanted remarks, sexual advances by a man to insult a woman in a public place like a bus stand, wedding hall, or near her house is called eve teasing. This is also punishable under 294 IPC. When men walk, they can be punishable for a maximum of 3 months. And if it is 509 IPC, punishes men who acts or uses an object to insult a woman with jail term for up to 3 years. So if somebody is teasing you when you go to the bus stop, somebody is teasing you when you're going out for a function, please report to your parents, teachers, or to the concerned authorities. The child helplines are there, 112 is there, 1098 is there. Please call them and inform them. And if you can gather evidence like photographs or screenshots, please submit them. What is criminal intimidation? When someone is threatening to cause death or hurt grievously or to destroy your property. For example, they may come and try to tease you or touch you or sexually assault you. And then it may be your uncle or it may be your cousin. And then they will say, if you tell your parents, I will kill you. If you tell your parents, I will put acid on your face. If you tell your parents, I will burn your house. Then they will threaten you like this. So that is also a crime. Don't get carried away by that. Speak up. Please complain to the concerned authorities and see that such acts will not take place. You have to stand up. You have to be very, very bold. So sexual harassment, I told you, unwelcome sexual advances like this, no? Especially when the employee is a female and the male employee will touch her when she doesn't like to, taps her on the back, asks her to sit on his lap, or tries to touch her garments, or makes advances towards her like kissing, or shows her pornography on the internet. All these constitute sexual harassment, and under section 354 IPC it is again punishable. And when children are forced into such acts, it is punishable under the POCSO Act, that is Protection of Children from Sexual Abuse, which is a very, very strong act in our country. So please speak up whenever anybody, it could be a teacher, it could be your parent, it could be your cousins, it could be somebody you know very well who tries to touch you on your chest, on your private parts, on your back, or you feel uncomfortable, they are doing something which is not right, which is not a good touch, then please see that you report. And if you saw this happening, please report to the nearest adult you could gather help from. Then of course you could have combination of domestic of these, which could be a domestic violence. It doesn't have to be between a married couple. A father can abuse a daughter. A brother can abuse a sister. That is also domestic violence by hitting them or passing bad remarks or psychologically hurting them. All these things are also coming under domestic violence. So most victims of domestic violence do not know that they are being abused. It is hard to believe a trusted partner could be manipulative, and harassment can also come from the in-laws, grandparents. Example, using threatening words, using economic abuses, not giving you money to spend when you want it for some very important, very useful thing. Using the male privilege, saying, you are a girl, why do you want to go out for a picnic? You are a girl, why should you go for a movie? You are a girl, why do you need to go to school? Things like this. And using children for sexual abuses, or using children to do work that they do not like, and isolating them and blaming them for something that is happening in the family. All these could be cycles of abuse. So what happens when there is abuse? Whenever there is abuse, what happens? There is a huge cycle occurs. First, there is a honeymoon period, and then they feel, okay, everything is so happy, and they're pretending to be happy. But of course, there is some sort of a tension, and that tension mounts. They become anxious, then they are very silent, they become psychologically depressed, and then suddenly there is an explosion of some sort of a violence, and then they go into fights, divorce, leaving the house, all sorts of things can occur. So Domestic Violence Act 2005 covers physical, sexual, verbal and economic abuse. It grants immediate protection and punishes the abuser with imprisonment up to 3 years. So ending violence against women, we have to go one step at a time. So we have to start from the smaller things. Any sort of abuse, it could be verbal abuse, or it could be some sort of a physical or psychological abuse. We need to stand up and say no to this abuse. Okay. So Rashmi, if you are there, I would like you to kindly interact with the children rather than we just go on talking on this topic. I would like them to give their inputs, or do they have any doubts in understanding? I can understand because it is not a physical meet, they may find it a little difficult. Any input from the audience? So if there are no inputs, we will go to the next presentation, which is on how to manage. Okay, now Dr. Bharti has told us all about what is violence. It could be physical violence, psychological violence, or it could be even be a combination of violence. It could be physical and it could be sexual also. Okay, so now how do we manage? If we see somebody having this violence, how are we going to tackle this problem, isn't it? So let me share the screen about what we can do about it, right? Can you see our third PowerPoint?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay, fine. So now that we know that what are the types of violence, it can occur inside the house, it can occur outside the house, it can occur physically or psychologically and sexually also. Okay, so how do we manage now? So here we will try to tell you how are we going to manage. So as I already told you, what are the factors that contribute to violence against women is the gender bias mainly, social discrimination against girls, associated with factors like alcoholism, drugs, troubled childhood, anger issues, stress, and financial economic instability. Okay. So this violence against women mindset is always nurtured since childhood based on the way a child is brought up. For example, In any family, when the boy says something loudly or shouts, the mother will not say anything. But if the girl shouts, she will say, why are you behaving like a rowdy? You are a girl. You should not behave like this. It is wrong. The parent should tell the boy and the girl that, see, you should be well behaved. You should be soft. You should not hurt a girl. You should not look at a girl as a sexual object. Girls and boys are equal in society. We need to respect each other. Never comment about a girl, about her dress, about her looks. Don't say something that hurts her. So every parent should tell, the father and the mother and the grandparents, teachers and doctors, we need to tell the boys that please look at women as girls, as your equal. Treat them with respect. Similarly, girls should respect men. Has to be taught from the beginning of the childhood, not because if we don't do that in future, it will be difficult for us to control violence against women. So what to do if you know someone is being abused? They may be being abused physically or psychologically. Don't be afraid. And what did I tell you? Don't be afraid. Listen to the victim's story. If it could be a friend will come and say, my father is beating my mother very much, or my father hurts me at home. Listen to the story. Reassure them to stay brave. Tell them, be brave and believe them. Don't tell them, oh, ನೀನೇನೋ ಸುಳ್ಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೀಯಾ, ನೀನ್ ಸುಮ್ನೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯಾ, ನಿಮ್ ತಂದೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Don't say that. Please believe them. Then do not blame her. ನೀನೇನೋ ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ. That is why your father did this. Don't blame her. Keep an eye on the situation to make sure that it is not getting too dangerous. Then ask her about, what do you plan to do? What shall we do now? She comes and tells you this is happening. What shall we do? Then she says, let us go and report. Please report to a higher authority. Since you are in school, you can go to the teacher and tell your teacher, madam, this is happening in her house. We need you to help us. Then the teacher will talk to the headmistress, or the teacher will call the parent and talk to them. Or you can tell your parent, or you can tell the police, or you can tell the doctor, or your very close, your grandfather, that this is happening in the house, your grandmother. You can tell them that this is happening, we need help. And respect. Suppose the girl who is undergoing violence says, no, don't tell anything to anybody. I will first talk to my mother. Then respect their decision. Don't go against their decision for some more time, but keep watching that girl. If you feel that she is getting troubled, she is becoming depressed, please report to your teacher or your headmistress or to somebody in the family whom you know. Then have resources to keep the conversation going. That is, keep talking to that girl or that victim and find out, how are you today? Are you comfortable? Have they stopped abusing you? Like this. And then be careful that whatever action you take does not hurt the victim. So suddenly you will go and tell everybody, then the father will get upset and say, oh, you went and told everybody in school, I will beat her. So these things you should be very, very careful. First of all, don't be afraid. Listen to what they say. Don't blame, and report to the nearest higher authority you know. Okay. Then what to do if you are being abused? Suppose somebody is abusing you. Try to identify whether this person is trying to take advantage. He is trying to hurt me physically. Recognize it. Then protect yourself by leaving from the vicinity. From that place, you just walk away to a place where there are more people. Suppose in the corridor of the school or in the bus stand, somebody is trying to abuse you. You walk away from there to somewhere where a lot of people are there. Avoid escalating situations. Don't create a big scene over there only immediately. Just go to your house, go to the school, or go to the police station and report the incident. That such and such a person at such and such a place came and did this, was trying to do this to me. So then the police or the seniors will take action, because when you are a child, they can misuse you and they can hurt you. They can kidnap you. They can kill you also. So be careful. And if you have any evidence like photographs, or you can record with your phone, please do that. And plan a safety kit in case you have to leave your home in a hurry. For example, suppose somebody is abusing you at home, or somebody has come into your house when your parents are not there and you have to leave. Try to take some money, take a telephone, a mobile phone, and maybe a piece of paper and some money, so that you can go and ask for help. And then go to your neighbor, your doctor, or the police officer and tell them that you are being abused. The most important thing is break the silence. Please speak out. Don't let the abuser rob you of your voice. Always claiming back your voice is going to be difficult. So always believe your words have power. Speaking up is the first step to end violence against women. Take a stand because your abuser will be scared. The moment you shout, the moment you complain, the abuser will get scared. So you should always report. Don't let down another generation of victims. Give the victim a platform to speak. Believe the victim. Don't blame the victim. Stand up for justice. Don't let people forget that once someone commits abuse, they will go on doing it. So help that victim, stand up for that victim. We have a lot of safety devices. You can download this on your mobile phones and keep them, like Smart Share, Women Safety, With You, Scream Alarm, Be Safe, Abaya, all these are there. And whenever you're going out in a taxi, share your live location with those you trust, like your parents, your teacher, or your friend or brother or sister. Take pictures of the taxi driver license plate if you're traveling alone to the airport or the bus station. In case of emergency, activate the location in your telephone and the app so that your relatives and the police will know where you are. So these are some safety steps that you can always use. And this is a distress signal which is all known all over the country. If somebody is near you, you can put your palm and close your fingers. This shows that somebody is trying to hurt you. So when you show this to the camera, they know that this child is in trouble and they can come and help you. So when you put your thumb inside and close your fingers, it is a help sign. So please make it a habit to show this help sign. Okay. So this is the help sign which says no to violence against women.
Place your palm to the camera or to the person you seek help from. Tuck your thumb. Trap the thumb with the remaining fingers.
So when you do this, they know that you are in trouble. Okay, so always make it a habit. Put the thumb and close your fingers.
Place your palm to the camera or to the person you seek help from. Tuck your thumb. Trap the thumb with the remaining fingers.
So this shows that you are in trouble. Okay, so these are the helplines I told you: 1091, 181, and very easy is you can take the 112 or 1091 or even 100. We don't use 100 nowadays. We are using 1091 and 112. So these are other helplines with email IDs and helplines which you can save. Keep it in your place where you can remember, and you can always by heart them. 1098, as I told you, is the child helpline. All you have to do is to call 1098 and tell them what is happening. So what do? Reporting. Report the incident to local police or the special police unit. Record the statement for police within 24 hours. Go to the hospital, home, shelter home for medical examination by a female doctor. Record the statement for the magistrate, and the special court, especially when it is sexual abuse under POCSO Act, will complete the trial within 1 year. So girls, let's say that we are all strong, and boys, please make the girls strong, and let's see that all of us are that way, and we all join together to say no to violence against women. Okay. So we just have another one PPT which I have to show you. What you can do when you are watching. Okay. Rashmi, you can interact with them over there. Just ask them if they have any questions. Any questions from the audience? Is this PPT visible now, Shriman? Role of active bystanders?
Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am.
Visible, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now, suppose you are in a bus stand, or you are in school, or you are next door neighbor's house, some sort of a abuse is going on, then you are standing there. What can you do? So who is a bystander? An individual who observes an act of violence, discrimination, or other problematic behavior, but are not, so you're not directly involved, but you're just seeing. So what can you do? You can either be an active bystander or a passive bystander. Who is active? You can take action to stop it. What can you do? You can either stand by and go near that person so that the violence will be stopped, or you can speak, or you can call for help. Okay. But if you do not intervene, you don't bother, because you say somebody else is going on, they may hurt me, I will have to go to the police station, I am late for work, that makes you a passive bystander. We want all of you to be active bystanders. So what can you do as an active bystander? You can do 5 Ds, very simple. One is distract. What is distract? The aim is to interrupt and derail the incident. So you just pretend to be lost and go near that person and say, can you show me the address to the post office? Do you know this address? Are you so and so? So as soon as you distract them, the attention is taken off of the victim, and he knows that somebody is there. He will not be violent against the victim. So distract. 1. 2, delay. You can delay or reduce the severity. How? Ask the victim if she is okay. Offer to accompany her to her destination. So once you have distracted, you can ask the victim, take her along with you to a safe place and delay the severity to reduce the severity. Then you can delegate. What can you do to delegate? Is when you ask for assistance, for a resource, or for help from a third party. It could be a shop, ask the shopkeeper. If on a bus, ask a co-passenger or the conductor. If you're in school, ask the teacher. So you can go and say, teacher, this girl is being abused. Or the bus driver said, this man is misbehaving with this girl. Or go and tell the shopkeeper, uncle, this boy is trying to do something to this girl. We need help. So distract, delay, and then delegate. Then the 4th is document. First, assess the situation. Is anyone helping the person being harassed? If not, use one of the other Ds, that is distract and delay. If somebody is already helping her out, assess your safety and then go ahead with recording and documenting the incident. Okay. Always ask the person who was harassed what they want to do with the recording. After you have recorded it, ask that victim whether you can give it to the police or whether you give it to her and what will she do to use it against the abuser. Okay. Always ask them permission before you share the video. Don't share it just like that on social media, because you will be going against her privacy. She may not need you to report it. She will say, give it to me, I will take it to the police. So please respect that. Okay. So never post it online. Just because you're seeing some violence, don't take a video and post it. Using an image or footage of a person being victimized without the person's consent may make the person feel even more depressed and can lead to a level of visibility that the person may not want. Publicizing another person's traumatic experience is no way to an effective bystander. So please do not do that. The last thing is directly respond to the harassment by naming what is happening, or go to the harasser and say, why are you doing this to this girl? Why are you touching her like this? Why are you abusing her? This can be risky. The harasser may abuse you, so be careful. It may escalate the situation, but you should be clear, confident, but cautious. Okay, so you can directly also deal. So you can delay, delegate, distract, direct, and you can also document. These are the 5 Ds. So the golden rule is only intervene if it is safe for you. Don't get yourself into trouble trying to help somebody else. If you feel it is not safe for you to intervene directly, please call the police, that is 1098 or 100. So that way you will be delegating the responsibility to somebody more cautious. Okay. So more ways to get involved. Organize actions like writing stories, posters, and posting them in your school magazines, in public places, saying no to violence against women. Appreciate someone practicing bystander intervention. Go and tell them you did a good thing, you helped that little child, you stopped the violence. If you know some organization is working for it, donate your time and ideas as a volunteer. Help in stopping violence against women and children. The wrong things to say. You should never blame the victim saying, why did she go at 9 o'clock in the night alone? It is her fault. Why did she park her scooter there? She should have gone with her brother. Why was she dressed like that? Why did she go alone? Never ever blame them like that. Okay. So this is what you need to do as a bystander. So you can help either by delegating, documenting, or even calling the 102 and talking to them about that. Okay. And then I think we come to something called the bridging the gender divide. We just have about another 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes. I will be finishing with that. Meanwhile, I request the teachers, if there are any questions, kindly take them up and Rashmi will be able to pass on that to us. So we have something called the gender divide. Okay. All of my standards here. Yeah, bridging the gender divide. What is this bridging the gender divide? That is, you know that in our society, yes, can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Visible yet? Okay, fine. So what is the gender divide? We all know that I already told you, Indian society and maybe even globally, the preference for boys and superiority of boys over girls has been time and again spoken. So let us try to bridge this gap. So if you see these names, what do you think? Whenever you see a name, you say, oh, Nayan means a boy's name. Nirmal means a boy's name. So there are some things which have already been stereotyped saying girls should be very considerate. Boys should be ambitious. Girls are soft. Boys are noisy. Girls cannot be leaders. Girls are emotional. So this is this type of gender stereotyping that has taken place, saying boys should not cry, girls can cry, boys can be leaders, girls cannot be leaders, boys can be independent, girls cannot be independent. This is something which we have to do away with. So stereotypes are so ingrained in our culture that it become a habitual response. When media and films reward violent male behavior, parents are more likely to use physical punishment with sons than with daughters. Parents are more likely to tolerate violent behavior in boys, and boys are supposed to be bossy. Okay, so is gender bias a social evil? Yes. In Indian society, women are oppressed officially and unofficially. Discrimination starts young when girls are expected to clean the table, wash the vessels, dry the clothes. Boys are expected to go outside and buy provisions from the stores. Boys are expected to go to the bank. Girls are expected to sit at home. Workplace discrimination occurs when girls become pregnant. Okay, there's a large wage gap. That is, the salary paid for men and women is so much different for the same work. And no woman is safe in India from sexual harassment and eve teasing. So these are all done in spite of women being called goddesses. Women are still being treated not as humans. So we all want to be treated not like goddesses, but we would all like to be treated like human beings. Okay. So some countries still don't give voting rights. They still don't give equal access to education. Child marriage and dowry is prevalent. Opportunities are less for women. One man's voice is worth more than that of many women. We have less access to financial resources. There is not enough representation for women in politics, leadership, etc., etc. So we all genders have to work together as friends to create a gender neutral, gender society, responsive and equal society. We need to eliminate gender inequality and gender bias. Gender-based prejudice is not an issue of one gender. So boys, it's not enough to not commit violence. You must be willing to take active steps to ensure that no other men commit such violence. There are 8 steps. Share the care. Boys, women take on more than 3 times unpaid care at home. So boys, please spend time at home doing household work, washing vegetables, cooking, cleaning the vessels, cleaning the house. You boys can also do this. Okay, appreciate those who help you, like your mother, your sister. Respect the sacrifices. Offer to help whenever you can. Encourage women to take their own interests, like your mother. Tell her to go for a tailoring class. Tell her to go and do computers. She wants to go for singing class. Please appreciate and share the care with them. Boys will be boys is not right. Boys should be held accountable. So respect men and women equally. Be aware of your own behavior. Make sure you're open to criticism and change yourself when you see toxicity, when you see your father abusing your mother or your father treating your sister not treating her properly. Please be bold, stand up and try to change the situation. Okay? Change the notions of traditional masculinity. Don't cry, be strong, not necessary. Treat everyone the same way, whether male or female. Allow yourself the freedom to break. You can also cry, you can ask for help. Question those who do not allow you to challenge stereotypes. Make the sensible male fashionable, not the alpha male. Okay? Do not excuse men because they're beating somebody or shouting at somebody just because they are men. Stand up and say what you're doing is wrong. You may be a man, but you have to treat a woman with respect. So sensitive men will change the next generation. Men can cry, men can break down, men can be insecure, men can also get abused, men also struggle. So try to be sensitive. Respect others' choices. When someone makes you uncomfortable, ask yourself why. Examine your biases. Consider and do not judge or shame them for their choices. Understand consent. Consent is something that is to be given freely without forcing, can be reversible. That girl can say yes to kissing and then she'd say, no, you can't kiss me. It has to be informed. You have to tell her that, yes, if I'm going to do something. And she should be enthusiastic, not under pressure. And it should be specific. If she says you can touch me freely and enthusiastically, you can touch her. If she says no, it is a no. Clear consent is the word yes and nothing else. You can't say, oh, she was coming and sitting next to me. She was talking, she was jumping. I thought if I touch her, nothing will happen. No, you cannot take that as a yes. Boys will be boys is never acceptable. Okay. So never ever try to take advantage of girls just because they are friendly to you. And never blame her saying, she is behaving like that. She came and sat next to me. That's why I touched her. That's why I kissed her. She wears a sleeveless dress. So I thought she likes, if I put her hand over her shoulder, she will like it. You cannot do this. You have to take her consent. A yes has to be a freely given yes. Understand? And never call out sexism and harassment. Never talk about girls saying, oh, she's a sissy, she's like this, she's a girl, that's why she's behaving. Never ever talk like that. All women experience sexual harassment at least once in their lifetime. Call out such behavior in a safe and respectful manner. Be an active bystander. Do not excuse if it's a friend, relative, or co-worker. Okay? If you see it, name it and stop it. Challenge gender stereotyping. Question your own stereotyping. You can cry, you can be depressed, you can wear pink color, it doesn't matter. Challenge any stereotypical notions of women, like women are not good at driving. If somebody says that, say stop. There are many women who drive well, there are many men who do not drive well. Counter the argument with facts. Believe the survivors, listen to them, believe them and support them. Be an ally and afford unconditional support to them. Okay? These the 8 things that we can do to help them. So women can do anything and be anything. Same way, men also can do anything and be anything. So let us do away with this gender bias. Now we come to the end of the session. We just have one more. Peer pressure. Okay, what is this peer pressure? A lot of you children are undergoing this peer pressure. So I will just talk to you for 2 minutes on this about the peer pressure. Just give me a minute. Rashmi, how are the children doing? I don't know because I don't see them face to face. Very difficult for us to see whether they are interested in the topic or they are understanding the topic. Can you see it? Shriman? Can you
Yes,
see
ma'am.
it? Yeah, fine, fine. So let me make it slideshow. So this is the last, okay, slideshow. So what is this peer pressure? So as I told you now, we have to identify mainly if there is any toxic environment. The concept of consent, I've told you, good versus bad touch and the power of no. Okay, this is what. So what is peer pressure? It can be any influence that the peers have on each other to conform to behaviors and personal habits of a group. That is, suppose your father is behaving like that, that may influence your behavior. Your teacher is behaving some way, or your uncle or somebody is behaving badly. It does not mean that you have to behave the same way. Okay. So most often peer pressure is too subtle to identify, but it can give you enormous effects. So types of peer pressures: when one peer openly persuades another. Unspoken is when one peer, that is a senior member in your family or your school, is persuaded by exposure, or it could be direct. Okay. And it could be positive or negative. Positive is when the peer is influenced by a behavior that is healthy and responsible. That is positive pressure. You should always be positive. Follow the good things from your elders. But when a peer is pressured into behavior that is against that moral code, that is negative. So just because your father is behaving rudely, or your uncle is abusing somebody, or your teacher is not treating a girl properly, it does not mean that you need to follow that just because they are your seniors. No, if they are wrong, that is negative. You should be positive. So your friends can make you feel bad about yourself. Some of them may say that if you don't do this, you cannot be my friend. If you don't smoke, you cannot be my friend. If you don't follow that girl, you can't be my friend. Keep away from that friend. Suppose somebody is gossiping always badly about somebody, keep away from that person. So try to be away from such toxic environment. How to avoid uncomfortable situations? Avoid going out with strangers. Make sure your parents and siblings know where you're going. Take a phone with you. Respect other people's boundaries. Draw boundaries around yourself, saying that I will go at 8 o'clock and come back at 9 o'clock. I will only go there and have my cake and coffee and tea and come. I will not smoke. I will not do this just because the others are doing it. I'm not going to do that. You should be confident to say no to anything you're not comfortable with. Just because few boys are teasing a girl, you need not join them. If you feel that there is something going to be dangerous, you can always call the police. So boys to avoid, girls whom you should avoid, boys who are always talking bad about girls, boys who are rude to their mothers, boys who don't respect your physical boundaries, just come and touch you without your consent, boys who pressure you to send nude photographs, boys who start fights, boys who use slur languages and bad language, boys who comment on girls' appearances without asking her. They may be sitting with you, not talking about you, but they'll be talking about some other girl. Tomorrow they will talk about you. Boys who make rape jokes. And boys which girls should you avoid, boys and girls? Girls who think that it's unmanly to cry, girls who hit or slap their boyfriends, girls who are always asking boys to get them gifts and money, girls who call other girls in bad words, girls who don't respect your physical boundary, girls who call you a girl, saying you're a sissy, you're a girl, why are you behaving? And girls who don't think men can be victims of abuse and rape. So please be able to differentiate toxic people. That is the first step to cleansing toxicity. So you have to draw boundaries when you're comfortable. Set boundaries you are comfortable with. For example, I will end this phone call if you continue to shout at me. Stop. I can stay for half an hour. You need to tell them, I can be here for half an hour. I'm comfortable. Or you tell them, I have to go. I will not respond to your mails. Then what is the good touch and the bad touch? Peer pressure can make it feel like all touch is acceptable, which is not true. Speak out whenever you feel uncomfortable. You have the power to say no. Just because that person is your teacher, or that person is your father or your brother or your uncle or a close friend, it does not mean they can touch you in these red points. This is the bad touch. Your private parts, your chest, your mouth, your breasts, they cannot touch. Between your thighs, that is bad touch. And you may not like them touching your legs, your tummy, your shoulders, your neck or your head, then keep away from them. A good touch is only when they touch you on your hands and you can feel that you're feeling comfortable. So be careful about the good touch or bad touch, whosoever it may be. And consent. Consent is permission for doing anything. Always ask for consent. So if you want to touch a person, can I shake hands with you? Otherwise, just say namaste. Do not just assume consent and put your hand over a boy, or a boy puts his hand over a girl or touches the chest. No. Please respect consent and never force consent. A no means no. So you have to be very, very careful for that. And always stand up to peer pressure. Don't say maybe if you want to say no. Always say no. So listen to your instinct. If your gut instinct says something is going wrong, say no. Leave the scene and say see you later. Make up an excuse saying I have to go to the library and run. Use a humor, like make a joke and say I'm ready to go and change. Change the subject. Like, oh, hey, I almost forgot to tell you something else. Suggest a better idea. Let's go to the library. Let's go back to class. So try to change and get away from that toxic scenario. So dreaming of a better future for our future generations is what we want to do. We want boys and girls to be safe. We want boys to respect women. We want girls to respect women. Let us say no to violence against women. I want every girl to know that her voice can change the world, said Malala Yousafzai, as you all know, we're familiar with her. So a sincere thanks to all of you who helped us be in this program today. And that comes to the end of our Dheera PowerPoint presentation. Now I would request the teachers there, somebody from the school to speak up for us. And if there are any questions, we are ready to take up the questions.
Thank you, Pratima. Really, it was a very nice talk. I think all the students have benefited with this program. Students, now you tell me why we are here. Yes, Dheera, wow, that is say no to violence against women. Any doubts? Please tell us. Any doubts? Please ask. No doubts, ma'am. I think the children are very clear with your talk. Really, thank you, ma'am, for your precious time. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Sushma. We request you to kindly send the list of students. Please send the list of all your students to the Dheera office along with Rashmi will guide you. Yes. And we will issue a certificate to the school as well as the children. And in future, if you need any help from us or you need any counseling, we are always open, and the local team is there from Kasoga. They will also be ready to help the children there. Thank you very much for giving us the time. Shima, you want to say something?
No, madam, you already said right about the Excel document and everything.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you very much. So shall we conclude? I will wish you all the best and a happy Children's Day to all the children once again.
Students, ma'am is wishing you all a happy Children's Day. Mr. Sriman?
Yes, madam.
Mr. Sriman, I think you are meeting now?
Yeah, we can, ma'am. We can leave the meeting. I can't hear you, ma'am. I'll end the meeting.
Yeah.
I'll end the meeting. Thank you.